I'm John Skinner, and this supplements my book, Fishing the Bucktail. I'll be fishing with 1 ounce S&S John Skinner Blackfish porgy jigs, and there'll be links to all of the gear in the description of the video. Oh, the wind just will not quit this fall. It's hard to even get a day to get out, and when you do get out, yeah, it's snotty. Just one of those days again. You know what? I usually go out with only Asian crabs, and I didn't have enough, so I had to go to the local tackle shop. We go fishing in Southold, get some green crabs to supplement the Asians. So I get to do a little bit of a comparison of green crabs and Asian crabs for this fishing on this video. So, yeah, you know what? That's the first time I've broken the main line jigging for blackfish in these 2 seasons, this season and the season before. I used 10-pound braid, but you know what I found out a little later in the trip, you're going to see it, is I've got a boulder just to my left, and that's what that fish did. That fish ran it along the boulder. And, yeah, at the time it happened, I didn't realize that rock was right where it was. So I was kind of surprised that it broke. But hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if you've got 15 and 20, you go up against a rock like that under pressure. Yep, you're probably going to pop it off. All right, so I just dropped down with Asian crabs. And I actually was fishing about 15 minutes before I started this video. And I was fishing Asians because I kind of prefer them. It's what I'm used to using. I also feel like when you're fishing in close to the beach like this, Asian crabs are something that these fish find naturally. So I like them. I like you don't have to cut them. You just, throw them on the hook. But yeah, so far, just catching shorts. And actually, that one that cut me off on the rock, that one had hit a green crab. So now, yeah, I'm going to go back in and put on some more green crab. All right, preparation's pretty easy. You just cut the legs and the claws, and it's pretty helpful if you can hold it over the water while you do that so you don't get crab legs and claws all over your kayak or your boat. And plus, that stuff goes down in the water and fish eat it, so I always think that it attracts some fish. All right, so now you just in one leg socket, out another leg socket, so you get actually a pretty firm hookup like that. And some people prefer to take the shell off the crab. I don't normally like to do that. I figured, you know what, the blackfish I want to catch can easily crunch that shell, and I think it kind of holds together better if you don't take the shell off. Now he's hooked. Whoa. Okay, the legal limit length is 16 inches. That one is way over. I'm not keeping anything. I've mentioned before, I've got a lot of fluke in the freezer. I see no need to kill these things for a fresh meal when I've got all that fish in the freezer. So yeah, I started with the Asians, and I was getting a lot of smalls, and then I broke that one nice one off on a green crab, and then I got that one. So now I find myself kind of wanting to use the green crabs a little bit more. And yes, those are stocking foot waders I'm wearing in the kayak. Never a great idea to wear waders in a kayak. However, I have a Farmer John wetsuit underneath this whole thing. I've never flipped. If I flip, I'm going to be fine. Okay.
better.
All right, you probably noticed me making like multiple drag adjustments with that fish on. I've always been one to believe that the drag setting at the beginning of a fight is not necessarily what the drag setting should be at other parts of the fight, and especially with Blackfish. You know what? Yeah, I want that drag real tight to get that fish off the bottom, but once I was pretty sure I was safe from the structure, I saw no reason to not, just lighten up a little bit. Yeah, this 10-pound test is a really nice fish. He's going to break it if he's going to take a dive under the kayak, and I'm not going to have the drag set properly. So, ooh, that's a beauty. Okay, Jig Color. I started with that hot orange color. I only had a couple of those jigs in each size. They were sent to me. They were prototypes at the time. So, when I lost that one on the rock, well, that was my last 1 ounce. I've got a couple more orange ones with me, but I don't have 1 ounce. I have 3/4, I have 1.5 ounces. So I switched over to a lime green, or a chartreuse, I guess you'd call it. You know what? I really just prefer a bright color. After watching underwater video of Blackfish last year, these are such curious creatures. It was amazing how they would just swim over to the camera and were so interested in the camera. And why? It was just, it's something different down there. They're curious. So I think getting their attention with something bright is really an excellent idea. So yep, the hot orange is good. I think this is another great color. So yep, I'm going to be with this one for the rest of the trip. Yeah, so I could even hear that in the video, the squeaking of the line against the rock. Yep, I'm hung. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. So it works out well with a kayak. It's all right, 10-pound braid. I'm in there pretty good. I've got 25-pound test leader material, a couple feet of leader. And what am I going to do? I'm going to try and drag the kayak over it. This is the cool thing about jig fishing. There's no other rigging. There's no sinker hanging off of it. There's just a fish. So if I can get over the top of this, give him a little slack, get him to move, maybe I get out. Yeah.
Easier on him,
Yeah, you definitely want to check your leader after something like that. And in general, this kind of fishing, it's smart to check that leader frequently because it gets banged up, you don't even know it. You could definitely drop a nice fish with a frayed leader. All right, I'll keep the narration to a minimum from this point on. I will come in at a few points, and especially near the end, I'll want to say something about the Asian crabs versus the green crabs. Yeah, enjoy the action. Really, this is an excellent trip. And if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel, and yep, enjoy the action. Rock is just to the left of me. Freight leader. Surprised when I drop down and don't have a hit immediately. There it is. Wow, he was just sitting on it. and I handle hits on the green crabs the same way I do on the Asian crabs. When you put down, you feel a lot of little taps, especially if you've got bergals and little fish around. I don't react to those. I'm waiting to feel that jig move away. I mean, that's the neat thing here. You've got a hunk of crab there, and in this case, I've got a 1 ounce jig. It's not a lot of weight, so pretty much the fish is going to pick up that whole thing and go with it. And you know, at that point, that jig is it's in his mouth. When I feel that thing move away, just set the hook. These very sharp hooks, and yeah, the hookups are actually quite easy and very firm. Color. Nice one. All right, you heard me say something about Asian crab. Yeah, okay, a nice one on the Asian crab. And but I got to tell you, after this trip, I don't think I'll go out again with only Asian crabs. I mean, I might, but I think I'm going to make an effort to have some green crabs with me as well. They definitely took the larger fish. I started with Asian crabs. I ended with Asian crabs, mixed some in along the way. They just didn't take the larger fish the way the green crabs did. Now, you know what? A lot of this stuff is day to day. I'm sure you can come out the next day and, find out that it's just the opposite. But yeah, from now on, I think I'm going to make sure I've got some greens with me as well. Okay, because of the way I've got the kayak anchored and I'm facing away from the waves, it's really not doing these waves any justice on the video. It's it's rougher than it seems. So I'm going to leave you with part of my beach landing, which certainly was not smooth. I kept it from flipping, nothing lost, nothing damaged, so all right, good trip.